starting things off with an Echo Slam. They will be able to chain stun and instantly pop RTZ. The use of the Laguna Blade has got to be all about that Shallow Grave from Puppey. They did not want to give that support the opportunity to be able to save SF for 5 seconds and let there be a turnaround.
Oh, Illidan from behind.
He jumps in. He's going to be able to get the silence on the Puppey, and they do easily get the kill thanks to the Fissure. And it looks like with those two pickoffs, they should be able to get this tier 2 tower. Team Secret actually going to go for it, vacuum up. Sonic Wave instantly taking out one, and a second as Zai runs him down. God turns around onto S4. They will be able to pick up that counter kill. Kuro's up next. God, oh, what a ball lightning steal from Kuro. Actually gets away from the Fissure. And now they're actually going to push VP away from this tier 2 tower because of that. Well worth the trade of S4's life.
I think Kuro was fine there, but by stealing the ball lightning, now they have better ways of initiating. It's just a good ability for him to steal because he's got such a low mana pool to work with, so it doesn't cost too much. I think the activation, it says 78, so that means he can probably go from tier 2 to tier 3 relatively safely, and this is going to make it really hard for VP to lock him down.
Once again, Lil's going for the medallion into Solar Crest. A couple of other items here. FNG doesn't have a whole lot of item progression just yet. That'll probably come with the tier 2 towers falling. DK Phobos is actually going to go for a Force Staff instead of the Yule Scepter he went for last time.
I kind of think this is cool by Kuro though, because he can actually catch Illidan really easily. Cap. He walks into Illidan, blows the zip, immediately lifts him, and then just makes sure that Illidan is spotted for the rest of his team.
Puppey is actually in a very dangerous position right now. He was trying to get some aggressive vision up. The TP out, but God is there to get the pull. And the Fissure on top of that. That's just another charge for the Storm Spear. Even if he couldn't use his Aegis earlier, he still has 11 Bloodstone charges.
It's probably okay though, because you're continuing to snowball, and S4 just isn't really getting anything out of this.
Kuro, he actually gets the initiation on FNG, seals his nuke, Light Strike Array, 2-man Fissure. Kuro is not going to make it out because he traded the Ball Lightning or the Dragon Slave in order to get that trade-off.
Still probably a decent trade right now, and right now they're going to get some birds out of this.
No, nice pushback. The silence was actually enough to save those two familiars until S4 hunts one of them down.
What's really significant for Secret now is they have a good way of initiating the fights. We saw it in the last fight. Zai has his Blink Dagger now. It's going to be so much easier for them to group up. That Roshan pit fight is going to become so dangerous for VP to take with that Blink Dagger available. DK Phobos about to finish the Force Staff too. Items. This Puppey drops the Sentry Ward. Illidan walking in and out. This is such a dangerous game that he's playing. The Storm Spirit isn't close enough. Everybody TPing in now.
Oh, Illidan already the Shallow Grave preemptively used by Puppey. Illidan's going to try and TP out seconds away. What a familiar drop there from Lil. This is why he is one of the most feared Visage players across all of Dota.
He's just so calm with it. He always knows what he wants to do with his familiars. Saves it to the last second so that there's no way that they can grab him, and great play by him. G's about to finish the Orchid though, and the next Rosh ride I feel is going to determine a lot. If you get the Roshan again on G, that means one of your supports is dead for sure. Maybe even S4. But if you can get it on RTZ, that means you can just kind of power through all the lanes and just give him the Aegis. It's so hard to kill him the first time around. You probably have to blow the Echo and the Laguna Blade, and from there Secret just get into a fight.
Is G looking at S4, who is going to blink away unless... Oh, God, no! Just half a millimeter away from being able to break down the right tree that would have revealed the S4 TPing out. Going back to it, God chooses to go for the Orchid here. Does he really feel far enough ahead of S4 that he's not worried about that Scythe of Ice?
No. He's had that ultimate orb for quite some time. He's died one additional time, so he knows that S4 is still quite far away from it. But, I mean, Secret, they're going for the push right now. I think they feel confident with the Blink Dagger on Zai and RTZ. He has so much farm. He's got a BKB, the Talisman of Evasion. It's going to be incredibly hard for them to take him down.
Which kind of pushes Illidan to this awkward situation where he has to make a decision between MKB and BKB.
I think he has to go for the BKB.
God. Oh, mind games. RTZ, his damage is too much. Gets the last click on the tower there. They stun up Artur, trying to catch up. FNG's going to lead with perhaps a blind light strike. Right, yeah, the Fisher chain stunning Arteezy down with the Laguna Blade on top. Shellgrave does go off, and Arteezy will have the opportunity to pop his ultimate. They just need a couple of right clicks to kill him. The Drone Ranger, no, it's not enough. God is actually going to jump for it. He gets that one. It's the explosion from the Blink Dagger canceled by the illusion. S4 spotted out by the familiars, but they won't be able to get there in time, it looks like. DK Phobos tries to go for the Fisher, but not there, and they actually get 3 for 2 to the favor of Secret. They lost Arteezy, but they still managed to pick up God and a couple of supports.
Him getting his ultimate off changed the entire state of that fight, because it just made VP split up. They were afraid. They didn't want to get hit close range to it, and he stayed alive for so long that G had to commit all of his mana pool just to kill the Shadow Fiend. And you don't want to trade in a one-on-one situation like that as the Stormster, because now all of a sudden, if S4 wants it, he has a fully completed Hex.
Yep, he spends the...
Oh, I think you forgot about the change.
Yeah, the Void Stone's still back in the regular base. But he will have it for the next fight. Illidan, meanwhile, he is going to be going for the BKB. He almost has it completed, so he's kind of hiding it right now. I think once they finish up that BKB, they probably go for a smoke towards a team fight, utilizing that 10-second match community.
Yeah, that's a really good chance. I almost feel that G needs one too, and as long as S4 doesn't show himself, this fight's going to be so weird.
Hey, Phobos, they're going to jump in on Arteezy again. They still have the Echo Slam, but there is a response from Team Secret. They do have the Shellgrave that's going to come in at the last second. Arteezy easily survives. Now they're going to go into S4. He actually manages to blink out just ahead of that one. Two-man vacuum by side. He's going to be stunned up, though, and they still have the damage. God's going to come in. He looks for kills. Kuro's actually stolen Ball Lightning once again, though. And Team Secret, that was actually so close. I mean, the Arteezy barely survived there, thanks in part to the Shellgrave. S4 barely managed to get out with the blink. And then Zaya also going down. Is VP just too strong in team fights?
I think VP actually could have just won the game there if they could have had the Stormster in a little bit of a better position.
Right.
S4 doesn't have buyback. He's got no gold at all. He just completed his items, and they can still win a fight, but it does require that they have to be able to save Arteezy, and he has to get his ultimate off in that fight. In that fight, he just held it because he knew it wasn't a full 5-man commitment from VP, so it looked a little bit closer than it was.
There's still going to be, I mean, the butterfly is being built right now by Arteezy, but that Solar Crest is still a gigantic advantage that Lil has picked up. Right now, they're using it for taking Roshan. Team Secret actually went for a 4-man smoke. Arteezy's going to join the rest of the team, but it seems to be a bit too late. Kuro actually makes the jump in, but it's too late. God has already grabbed the Aegis. Now with the 2-man, DK Phobos actually hit a beautiful Fisher. They've already eliminated one. Arteezy managed to get off the BKB. Pops that ultimate. They're trying to go for Lil. We'll take him out. DK Phobos, 4 staff away, is trying to get ahead of these heroes. Meanwhile, Illidan will just clean up Puppey nice and quick. DK Phobos stalling up these heroes, managed to get the blink away to the side, and maybe he can turn this one around with Fisher ready to go. Kuro actually steals Light Strike Array, going for the stun here, but he just gets cleaned up so quickly by those familiars. With the increased damage of the Drone Ranger Aura, once again, VP, they win another fight and are well set to take an objective.
And now this is a 7-second BKB from the Shadow Fiend, and conveniently enough, this bottom lane is already pushed in for them. They're just going to go for this tier 2 tower, but they can decide to go for more if they want. Illidan's starting to pick up a large amount of farm. FNG, if he wants to go for the 4-staff or the Yules, he can have that at the same time. G's going to get a BKB, and I mean, Kuro's been just such a nuisance for him, but if he gets the BKB and he orchids him, that's one support straight away. You have really good ways to deal with the Dazzle at this point, and it's going to mean that the Shadow Fiend has no other way to survive without the Grave.
Yeah, Virtus Pro, such a large jump up in net worth after that team fight. That's about a 5,000 gold swing from just that fight, plus Roshan alone. BKB coming in for God. Illidan's got a large amount of gold. He can choose to go for the MKP if he so chooses. DK Phobos is actually going to build into what I believe is a BKB, just to make sure he gets off everything he can in these team fights.
Yeah, I think he should definitely go for one here, but this mid-fight right now, Secret, they're prepped for it, but they're so afraid. If they lose one more fight, that could actually just mean TI for them. Right. Arteezy buys the full butterfly. They don't have buyback gold on anyone that really matters here. Kuro and Zai might have it, but that's about it.
Looks like Tier 2 is Virtus Pro's next objective. Especially with the Aegis, they feel pretty confident that Team Secret is not going to challenge them, but they may be wrong. Team Secret actually go for the 5-man smoke here.
Oh, he actually spotted Arteezy.
Going to be able to vacuum, jump forward. S4, he's going to actually turn around on Light Strike Array. God's going to jump in. They've already taken out S4. Pops a BKB and will literally lift that ultimate, but God, he's now controlled by the telekinesis. Has to make a jump away. Staying away from Arteezy. Finally goes down, but that's just the Aegis. Arteezy pushed back by the silencer. Going to go for the support first. Poppy goes down. DK Phobos gets off the Echo Slam. He even survives. Just barely, as the tower shots are not enough to finish him off. 4 down from Team Secret, and VP will have that tier 2.
And G's got a DD rune. The Silver Edge is just completed. He's got his BKB too. This might actually just mean racks for Secret. They don't have buyback on the heroes that matter. Darkseer's going to buy back, so is Rubik, but they don't have one on the Shadow Fiend. The Queen of Pain is also without buyback, and VP is going to feel so bold right now because they just have so much of a lead. They've got a 15 charge Bloodstone. G's got a DD rune if he wants it. DK Phobos, no Echo Slam on him, but still, this is quite the lead for VP, and it's hard for them to get rid of this one.
So many fans, analysts, everybody across Dota had Team Secret, if not their first place, somewhere in that top 3, and right now their tournament life is being threatened by Virtus Pro, representative of the CIS region. An insane story here. VP right now, it's 23-13, 34 minutes in after yet another team fight that is now a 10,000 gold lead for them. 12,000 experience on top.
That's a 10-second BKB for G. I can't stress how much that means in this part of the game. Secret have no counter for that right now. And their own BKBs. You've got a 6-second BKB on Arteezy. S4 is nowhere near another item. He's only got a tier 4 item at 34 minutes. And he's not even close to seeing another one by the end of this game. And a large portion of how this game's determined is if they can keep Arteezy alive to deal damage, they can maybe still do it, but locking down G at this point is nigh impossible.
It gets all the more difficult when you now have an Aghanim Scepter for the Lina. It's still only a level 2 Laguna Blade, but that is still a significant chunk of pure damage that will be able to cut Artur down to size, even if he has the BKB up.
Yeah, and Arteezy, I mean, he's played so well this game. He's still on top of the net worth charts, but the rest of his team is just lagging behind in that regard, and finally the Storm Spirit gets ahead, and I mean, Secret are so afraid right now because any wrong misstep is just the game for them.
I mean, between, as you said, the 10-second BKB, but also the 15 Bloodstone charges, this guy's got mana for days.
Doesn't have that DD room bottled anymore, but...
Alright, here it goes. Team Secret. Got a 4-man push by Virtus Pro right now with God ready to make the initiation at any point. They're going to start with a slow poke and prod at that tier 3 tower. No need to rush things.
I mean, they could just wait for the opportunities right now. The Storm Spirit BKB jumps in at any point.
Who's his first target? Does he go for the support in the background? Does he go for Puppy and try and eliminate that Shallow Grave?
Kill the Dazzle as fast as you can. Okay. And then blow up Arteezy once his BKB's down.
Fisher pushing back Arteezy, and just seconds. And that's all it takes to bring the tier 3 tower low.
VP hitting the tower. Illidan's going to take this one down real soon, and this is going to open up the map for them. And now Secret have to play so carefully. If Arteezy's out of position, they won't be afraid to just blink echo him alone.
Illidan starts moving forward. They do have the counter wards to see him, though. God sitting on the side. They're actually going to jump him. They're going to try and pop Illidan right away. The Fisher is out, but it doesn't hit anything. Meanwhile, God goes for Puppy in the background, instantly eliminating. Arteezy gets hit by the Laguna Blade, but it's still up and fighting. There goes the 3-man with vacuum wall on top of everything else. VP will lose the fight, and they're going to lose just 3. God has a significant amount of mana left. He's running it over the cliff. He has to suicide to go for it. Be able to avoid it. There it is, the suicide. 4 down for VP. Team Secret holds in game 3.
I mean, Zai, killer instincts there. Arteezy managing to survive through all odds, and even with the Dazzle dying immediately and S4 being isolated out, those 3 were enough to hold the base, and that's 4